I know we were expecting some new developments this weekend, but some of them have failed quality control. Make sure you indicate what you'd like redeveloped via the workstation.
Well, it's been a minute, hasn't it? Welcome guys to F1 2018 Career Mode, episode number 55. It feels so weird to be making Career Mode videos again. Yeah, so there's been a bit of a break, mainly because of doing iRacing stuff. I'm moving to the UK, mentioning this for the millionth time. But that's probably the main thing, iRacing and the move. Like, I've been making other videos in advance, and Career Mode is one of those ones where it takes the longest to make. So I've been less incentivized to make Career Mode videos, but I'm making this one now, so we're making progress here. You can see heading into this one, we did do some upgrades. You would have seen them on the screen just before, but we didn't get all of them in, unfortunately. So as we head into the Singapore Grand Prix, we'll see if we can recover some more resource points and consolidate those upgrades that failed heading into this one. We also need to consider all the upgrades that we stand to lose heading into next season with the regulation changes. We have engine stuff we need to recover, and also durability, but my focus for right now is the engine upgrades. I just want to make sure the car is as fast as it possibly can be for the start of season 3. What season are we on? No, it's season 4. We're on season 3 right now. Bloody hell. We are, I say we're smashing through this. We're really not. When you compare that to Arab, who's on, like, I don't know, is he on season 9 or something now? It's pretty ridiculous. But you can see right now, I've actually simulated Singapore. One, mainly because of the title of this video, which I will talk about at the end. And two, I don't know how much time I'll have to finish off this season, if I'll even have the time to do that before I go to the UK. But I didn't really want to finish off on Singapore before I left. I'm going to finish off at Russia, a circuit that I know we're going to be competitive at, so I decided to simulate. We only got 17th place in the Singapore Grand Prix, which is absolutely abysmal. The game thinks absolutely nothing of you and your skill and everything that you've achieved up until this point when it comes to simulating your race. So we got absolutely shafted over there. We didn't get too many resource points, but we got away through the Grand Prix with at least some, and we'll carry that into this next race. I did all the practice sessions. I'm continuing to work on the car, but I do need to get through the season a little bit for some reasons that I'll explain a little bit later. But in the meantime, here we are for Russia. Pace was decent. I'm not sure what's going on with the standing of this car right now. We were knocking on the door of, you know, getting podiums. If we're at an OP track for the player, maybe even a win here or there, but we arrive at Russia at a circuit that I know I'm good at, and one that I know I'm decent at against with the AI. But you look at the pace here, and it just doesn't correlate, does it? 13th place in qualifying 2. We get knocked out for the first time in what has been many, many races in a natural dry qualifying session, which is a bit of an anomaly. So it must be an element of rust, I would say. This car does handle a lot differently to what I've been racing with in league racing, what I've been racing with even on, you know, PC, on the, you know, Veloce Squad Sprint series. So it took, I don't know, a little bit of getting used to. The car is still pretty how you going on the Exeter corners with the throttle power delivery. I thought it was actually getting better with all the upgrades I was doing, but I actually struggled with that to some degree, so I guess I was just adapting to that better the more I drove the car in this Career Mode series. So that was very interesting to find out, but we're going to head off now for the Russian Grand Prix. We're actually going to do this race. We consolidated a few more upgrades. So yeah, hopefully with a good result here today, we can open up some doors later today.
Good afternoon from Sochi as we prepare to get underway for the Russian Grand Prix. The championship battle has some time to go yet, but still expect no quarter to be given here on this circuit that made its debut in 2014 and has already seen some classic racing. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Now I want to ask you about Charles Leclerc. They come into this race with a healthy championship lead. I don't want to say the title race is over, but surely it's going to take something special or catastrophic to change the outcome at this point.
Certainly there are worse positions to be in, but it's vital they don't let complacency creep in. As soon as you let yourself think it's over before it actually is, that's where everything can and often will go wrong.
Keep your eyes open on the run to turn 1 and keep it clean. We want to come out in one piece. Good luck.
Alright then, chaps. Here we are on the grid of the Russian Grand Prix. Pretty simple race strategy. Hypersofts to the Ultrasofts. Nothing to worry about in terms of strategy. We don't even need to worry about the fuel all too much. It's just a flat-out 27-lap sprint race. Away we go in this Russian Grand Prix. We got promoted a couple of places due to some grid penalties for some front runners. So we'll have some quicker guys coming through the field behind us, including, well, we've got Sebastian Vettel right in front of us. We've got Hülkenberg right behind, and Kimi Räikkönen as well, the company. Heading into turn 2, though, yellow flags. I can't quite tell who it's for, though, but I did see a bit of front wings scattered on the inside part of the circuit that was overtaking all the cars on the inside, which was interesting, but we found our way into 8th place. Not a bad start so far in the points. We've got Ericsson challenging as we head into the middle sector. I think we're going to let him go here if we can. Or are we going to fight this? We're fighting it to some degree, but we know it's a losing battle. That Sauber is too fast. And if anything, I actually think it's still upgrading at this point, which is absolutely ridiculous. Surely they've got to be hitting their roof, their ceiling sometime. But that day is yet to come. Lap 2, you can see Ericsson getting tangled up with Sergio Perez and Esteban Ocon. We get a bad run trying to avoid him, and now our teammate swoops around the outside and takes P9. So pretty frustrating there to not get the rub of the green there. We go back up the inside of our teammate, and we steal the position back just as easy as we lost it. So there we go, progress. And 2 Force India boys, I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're trying to recreate the Canadian Grand Prix from a few years back where they were fighting for, I don't know, a podium or P4 or something, and Sebastian Vettel was closing in behind them. It's a reincarnation of that, but hopefully this time they don't tangle. Looks like Sergio has got in front of Ocon, and now he's going to potentially pull away. So maybe Esteban has damage here. We'll see if we can make the most of that. But look at the amount of time we lose on the exit of the final corner. That's all engine power. It's not a bad exit. I got a decent exit, but we just lose so much in those, accelerating zones compared to the AI now. I feel like we've actually gone backwards in the last race or two. We haven't really upgraded all that much. We've more been consolidating parts, whereas other teams might still be upgrading and progressing their car further, which is actually pretty scary when you think about it. But anyway, we are settling in nicely to P8. Marcus Ericsson has got some clear air ahead, and he's actually not pulling away, which is really surprising. I would have thought a car of that caliber would be absolutely pulling away for days, but we're actually staying with him, and we're now getting DRS off of Sergio Perez now. So either Marcus has a problem, or no, there's no other solution. Marcus must have a problem. There's no way he's going to be this slow at this point in the Grand Prix on Hypersoft tyres. That Sauber is the best tyre wear in the field. They shouldn't be struggling for tyres. It has to be damage or reliability issues, because that Sauber is supposed to be a second lap faster, but it's not translating on circuit. Sergio is staying with him. I'm staying with him as well with my acceleration deficit. And now it seems the Red Bulls and the Mercedes are falling into our clutches. So what is happening in this Russian Grand Prix that is allowing us to catch up, even though we're not particularly going that fast? I am completely bemused. I can't even say that.
Okay, some information on Bottas. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Okay, so that confirms to us someone does have a problem. That I was hoping that was the case. But what about Ericsson? That does not explain what is happening with Ericsson. Like, these guys have all massively come back on to our radar. But Ericsson, what's the deal with him? He wasn't getting held up by anyone up until this point, and he was still not getting away. I'm so confused. Are we just getting stronger in terms of tyre wear? I don't know. I'm really confused. I'm going to march on anyway and see what I can make of this race. Bottas and Perez collide at turn 2. Bottas, you're meant to be colliding with Raikkonen, not the Mexican. But either way, we take his position. It's hard to tell where Bottas is actually struggling. But we grab his position anyway, and hopefully that can be a long-term issue for Bottas, and that'll mean that we keep the position for the rest of the race. Fingers crossed. Lap 10, Sergio goes defensive into turn 2. And this race is really opening up for us now, isn't it? Maybe it is tyre wear to some degree against, you know, the Force Indias and maybe the Mercedes. But the Red Bulls, what were they doing? What was Marcus Ericsson doing? I'm still so confused. I felt so slow in qualifying and to some degree the start of the race, but now we're coming alive, it seems. Sergio's up next, locks up massively under pressure, heading into the third sector, and now I am rejuvenated in this race, it must be said. I was worried that I was only going to be fighting for P8 in this race, but now we're moving forward once again, around the outside, into turn 2. Job done. Very nice move indeed. Sergio leaves the space, and now we move up into P6. Next up is Verstappen. There is a bit of an air gap to the next group of cars, so they have found their pace again, but it'll be remain to be seen if we can close them up now that we get fresh air. Once we get fresh air, we need to get past Sergio again because he overtook us on the back straight. We get the move done now, but I think it's pit stop time. It's lap 11. It's our scheduled lap to come in, so we'll be diving in for the ultra soft tyres and then running these to the end of the Grand Prix. But what a weird first stint that was. I thought we were going to be nowhere in that race, but we really came alive in that second half, so it leaves me optimistic for the second half of this race where the ultra soft tyres to some degree will maybe die off more than the hypers, because we have to take them a lot further to get to the end of the race here. But we get a 1.9 second pit stop for the first time ever, I think, in career mode. And I didn't even have these guys maxed out in terms of the pit stop efficiency. 1.9 seconds. We've been hoping for that all season, and now in the last race, Williams deliver. So it's P13 as we rejoin the circuit. A few guys still yet to make their stops. They're making those now, including my teammate Lance Stroll. He's only a few positions back as well, so hopefully he can get some points for Williams today. But now Sebastian Vettel is coming into the fray. He's been behind us all race and kind of been shadowing us, not really being close enough to attack. We've been more focusing on the guys ahead, and now it seems like we're set for a battle in this second half. This is Raikkonen and Verstappen fighting over P5, and I'm cheering on this battle to continue so that we can get into this fight a little bit. They're 2 seconds up the road, so we're not too far away, and maybe in a lap or two we might be able to cling on to the back of them with some DRS hopefully. But unfortunately for us, Raikkonen makes a pit stop, so that puts an end to any hopes of catching Verstappen. He might find his pace again and stretch out the lead. Here goes Sebastian Vettel up the inside on this back straight. We're going to have to go defensive here a little bit into this next left-hander. We take back the position, but Vettel is still there on the outside, just had his nose in there, so I couldn't chop him off. Unfortunately, he holds it around the outside. He'll have the inside for the next right-hander, and now this is turning into quite the sweaty battle. Still side by side with Vettel, mind you, heading into the penultimate corner. We have to give him the corner there, but he gets a horrible run through there. We do the under and over, and somehow we take back P6.
Nice move. Good job.
What a battle that was. That was absolutely insane. Side by side for like half a lap there. Long may that continue, because I don't think we're going to be getting P5 in this Grand Prix. Verstappen is still there to some degree, but I feel like he's found his pace again now that he's been unlocked from behind Raikkonen. Sergio Perez now gets in front of Sebastian Vettel somehow, and we don't have to worry about him potentially. Instead, we'll have to focus on Sergio. The Force Indias are creeping up there in terms of performance on the list now. They seem to be very, very fast in a straight line, and I found for the remaining laps of this Grand Prix, I was actually more under pressure from Sergio than what I was from Vettel, because Sergio was just so much more of a threat on the straights. I could hold Vettel back in the corners, but this Force India is so darn slippery in a straight line. Sergio gets us back finally, so this is a What a tasty three-way battle for P6 it seems in this Russian Grand Prix. Let's see if we can put some pressure on Sergio. Once again, he goes defensive into turn 2. That's going to compromise him. The AI absolutely crap themselves whenever we close up to them and get the free position back. I think Sergio was actually going to run away with that. If he would have held on to that position for one more corner, I think he would have got away. He had the pace over me for sure, but now we have the golden P6 and best of the rest title. But for how long, we don't quite know. It's still side by side here as we fight with Sergio through the third sector, just like we did with Vettel. So if we play that out, we might be able to hold on to it, but we get a screen freeze, a lag spike on my PC, completely disrupted my momentum. Vettel got up the inside of me into the second last corner, and now Sergio has got away. So that was really frustrating. I don't know what it is about this game. I have an amazing PC, really good graphics card. The CPU itself is really, really good, but this game is just really poorly optimized, and it doesn't like it when you record for a certain amount of time. I don't know if it overheats or I don't know, it just stutters, and it can be really costly. And this is probably the reason why I don't race online on PC all too much, and I would probably never consider racing on PC competitively for league racing, because how can you race when your PC skips like a second or two like that? Sometimes it throws me into walls and I actually lose a wheel, and I have to, those are the rare occasions when I actually have to do a rewind. But otherwise it's just really, really annoying. I feel like that really cost us P6 there, unfortunately. We're running out of time. We tried to come back at Sergio as much as I could, and there was another incident of the lag spike, but this one doesn't cost us. It's still going to be P7 for us. 6 points. We'll do a burnout as we cross the line, but there we go.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
A great win then for the Sauber team today. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
I think we'll chalk this one up to a deft touch on the brake pedal. That's allowed them to challenge down the inside into the braking zones, and ultimately, if you do that often enough, you end up winning the race. It was great to watch as well though, wasn't it? Forget strategy, forget tyre management. Who doesn't love a good old-fashioned scrap?
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium. On to the constructors then, where the result is finally beyond doubt. This amazing contest has now drawn to a close. It's Sauber leading the way and demonstrating the ingenuity of an independent team. They are Formula One World Champions.
Bloody hell, what a statement to make. Sauber wins the constructors. I don't know what's happened in terms of the drivers. The commentators never said anything about that for Charles Leclerc. But there we go, for the second time in a row, Sauber are the champions. 1-2 in the end. Marcus Ericsson really had to overcome some hurdles. He was in the thick of it with me there. His pace was looking a bit shaky at the midway point of that race. Then he came on strong towards the end, and he finished 30 seconds behind his teammate, but he had a lot of overtaking to do and he didn't get off to a great start. Though in saying that, Charles Leclerc only started one position in front of him, so guess he can't complain all too much. That has been the Russian Grand Prix, a pretty crazy race. And I'm not just saying this because I don't remember as many of the races before, but that was a pretty intense one. Those battles that we had with Sergio and especially Vettel, side-by-side action for half a lap, and lots of respect was given, which was really, really nice. We weren't thumping into the side of each other. It was actually good, hard, fair, clean racing, which is a rarity on this game. Even in career mode, the AI can be a bit crazy, and hell, even I can be a bit crazy sometimes, but I managed to restrain myself and keep it clean. But here we are, the moment you have been waiting for, the team switch for the rest of this season. Now, I have an in-game universe explanation for this. Williams has no more chances of winning the drivers. Mercedes is a big brother team to Williams, and Bottas has not been performing, so Toto has taken it upon himself to hire me as a second driver, almost as like a development driver, to spill the secrets of Williams and help build them up in a quest to give them more momentum for the rest of this season. So I'll be helping them drive the car. I will be providing tips and tricks to help improve the car and hopefully make them improve heading into next season. It's also, from a entertainment standpoint, a good time to leave Williams for now. We're only going out on loan for the rest of the season to Mercedes. I think we're going to go back to Williams at the start of next season and hopefully have a real title showdown between Mercedes, Renault, Force India maybe, and Sauber. So yeah, I'm happy with the level that Williams is at right now. I feel like with the OP level of upgrading, that it should be just about the perfect level for us to still be pushing the whole way through the season to really catch up to Sauber, and hopefully we get that balance right. Anyway, that's it from me today. Thank you so much for watching. This is actually the last career mode video I'm making before I go to the UK. The next episode will be a new start for me in many, many ways. New team, new country, new everything. So that'll be quite the experience. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Okay, everyone's happy with that proposal and we're locked in. From the next race weekend, you'll officially be racing for a new team, so you'd better start getting ready for the move.